Hi guys, tonight we're going to talk about what minerals are, and it goes with Chapter 3, Section 1. So every year 50 to 100 new minerals are discovered, and as of right now we have over 4,000 that have been identified. So surely there are still a lot more out there that we need to find. So what makes a mineral? There are 5 different things that they have to have. So if they're missing even one of these things, then it's not officially a mineral. So the first one says that it's organic. So organic means that it's made from not living things, or it can't be anything that has lived and died. Remember, inorganic means it's not living, it never has lived, and never will live. So all minerals have to be inorganic. The next one, number 2, is that they have to be solids. They are not gases, they are not liquids. Okay, number 3, they have to have a crystal structure. So that means that the atoms that make it up, the little teeny tiny subatomic particles, they form a repeating pattern which makes crystals. So in the really nice crystals, you get gemstones, which is what we put in rings and what women wear for jewelry. Number 4, they have to be natural. That means humans cannot help make them. Now, that doesn't mean we can't make them, because we can develop these things in a lab, but if we make them in a lab, then they're not officially a mineral because we did it. It has to be done in nature. And then number 5, finally, they have to have a definite chemical composition. So there's a very specific formula of different elements that make up each of the minerals. And so if any of those elements are missing, or if there's too much of one element, then it's not a mineral. Alright, so real quick, we're going to go through a few slides where we're going to look at some examples and see if you can decide which one is the mineral and which one is not a mineral. So the first one for a diamond, see if I can get my pen going over here. So a diamond is natural. Okay, I'm going to put a little NAT next to it. A cubic zirconium is man-made. Okay, so between those two, take a minute and try to decide which one is the mineral. If you said diamond, then you are correct. Okay, cubic zirconium, even though they can make cubic zirconiums now that look exactly like diamonds, it's not actually a mineral because it was made by man. Okay, let's look at number 2, talc versus limestone. Which one do you think is the mineral and why? Limestone, you should be able to see it's got shells in it. Okay, if it's got shells in it, those are once living things. So it cannot be a mineral. So if you said talc, then you are correct. Okay, how about this one? Let's see if you can figure this one out. Between garnets or coral. Now, if you don't know, coral is actually an animal that lives in the ocean, and when it dies, then what's left is the shell. So see if you can figure out from that information which one is the mineral and which one isn't. In this case, garnet is the mineral, because coral, since it comes from once living things, then it is not inorganic. Okay, so let's look at mineral structure. So all minerals contain one or more of the 92 naturally occurring elements. So the chemical formula for gold is AU. Okay, that's the chemical formula. So if you go to the periodic table of the elements, gold is actually pure. Okay, it's a pure element. It's in one of those boxes that's on the periodic table. Okay, copper is Cu. Okay, it's also on the periodic table. So each mineral has its own formula of elements that make it up. So if it doesn't have all of those elements in there, then it's not a pure mineral. So we also have a crystal shape. Okay, remember the atoms make a repeating pattern that forms the crystal shape. And so you see some pictures here of the different kinds of crystals that are formed. Obviously, the prettier the crystal is and the rarer the mineral, then that's what we use as our gemstones, like diamonds and sapphires and rubies that are used in different forms of jewelry. Okay, make sure your notes are filled out and bring them to class tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye-bye.